Hello, friends. So, we learned to tell the difference between a turtle and a tortoise. I wonder if you remember those differences. Today, we're going to draw and paint. So, you need your white paper from your envelope. We're going to draw and paint the parts of a tortoise. Okay, so I'm going to get my paper, and I want my paper to be long, not tall on my workspace. I also need crayons, my paintbrush, my watercolor paint. I'm using a bowl of water, but you might use a cup or a jar of water, and regular pencil. Of course, I'll be using the marker for the screen. Okay, let's look at my workspace. My paper is long. First, we are going to draw and label our tortoise. Before we even begin our drawing, let's go ahead and on the top write tortoise. T or t. Tortoise. Okay, tortoise. Now, get your black crayon and we're going to start drawing this tortoise. Okay, I'm going to start with a big curve like this. And I'm going to connect it with a line on the bottom. Okay, then I'm going to draw a leg here. With big, sharp, like claws for digging in the sand. And I'm going to draw another leg here with those claws. And here I'm going to draw a curved line this plate that connects the top shell from the bottom of the shell. Okay, and we're going to learn the names of those. I'm also going to draw a little tail here. And then let's work on the head of our tortoise. Now, did you notice that I made this shell very curved? I made a big curve to show it was a tortoise. If I would have made a flatter shell, it would have looked like a turtle. And you might have noticed that I drew those claws for digging, for the claws that a tortoise has. If it was a turtle I was drawing, I would have drawn webbed feet or flippers that are good for swimming. But we drew claws to show that tortoise. There we go. Okay, now for the head of our tortoise. Okay, this is looking good. Okay, now I want to make that pattern that's on the shell of our tortoise, and I'm going to make it different than I normally do. I'm going to do a line here like this, and then I'm going to make little rectangles like this. And on the inside of them, I'm going to make a little design like that. Kind of looks like a maze to me. Okay, now I'm going to make another line here. I'm going to do the same thing. Make my little rectangles and then designs inside of them. Kind of reminds me of the red rod maze. Wow, interesting design. Okay, let me make sure I have all of the parts I need. I think I do. Okay, I'm just going to go over and outline my turtle a little bit darker. So it's ready for my painting. I think I'm going to color in these claws black. So we know the tortoise lives on land and doesn't swim, so it needs those claws so that it can dig. I'm just tracing right over the top, so it's a lot darker. There we go. All right, I am finished with my black crayon. Before we paint, we're going to label. So let's look at the different parts of a tortoise. We've already labeled that this whole thing is a tortoise. This top part of the shell is called a carapace. Say carapace. What I'm going to do is write carapace. Do you hear that beginning sound? Carapace is a long word. And I'm going to draw an arrow pointing at the carapace. Make sure you're writing with your regular pencil. Carapace. Carapace. And that's the top part of the shell. The bottom part under the turtle is called plastron. Plastron. L A on plastron. And then I'm going to draw an arrow up like this, pointing at the plastron. Say plastron. Underneath the turtle, it's the armor that connects the top shell, the carapace, to the bottom part of the shell, the plastron. What's this called? That's right, a tail. T -t -t Tail. I make that arrow to show the tail. Okay, what about these? What do we call these that they're digging with, that tortoise digs with? Claws. 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 Okay, we have the carapace, the plastron, the tail, and claws. Let's label these things. What would we call these? We have them. What do we call these? Legs. Leg. Legs. Okay, and let's label one more part of this tortoise. What do we call this? We have one too. Head. The head of the tortoise. The first sound I hear in head is head. There's my arrow. Okay, here is our tortoise. It's carapace. It's plastron. There's the tail, the claws, the legs, and the head. I think we're ready to paint. Remember, you need your water for watercolors. I'm going to make this shell green. Okay. Now I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to make the body of my tortoise brown. I'm also going to make the tail brown. Okay, the only part that's left is the plastron, and I'm going to do brown, and then on top of that I want to paint green. So let me clean my brush and put a little green on top of my plastron. Oh yes, that was exactly the color I wanted, like a green-brown color. Okay, friends, let your tortoise painting draw. Make sure you've labeled all the parts. How many parts of our tortoise did we label? 6 parts. And we knew we drew a tortoise because it has those claws for digging because it lives on land, and that very curved shell that the tortoise has. Was there any other ways that we were able to tell the difference between a turtle and a tortoise? Well, you can't tell in our picture, but a tortoise can go all the way in its shell. A turtle can't go all the way in. Okay, so make sure when you finish and let it dry that you put your tortoise in your envelope to bring back to school when you come. Okay, my friends, can't wait to see your tortoise painting. Bye.